yet, they're still winning. Chipper Jones, the main reason lately.
Well, Bobby Cox knows that sooner or later Fred McGriff and Marquise Grissom are going to get hot. Chipper Jones has been a big surprise. Cox has him in the third spot in the lineup, and he is really delivering. Here Saturday against the Marlins, Chipper Jones delivers a long home run in the ninth inning to win that ball game. And right now, Chipper Jones is the leading RBI guy on the Braves.
And of course, they've got the good defense, the great pitching to go with it. Now, the Cardinals almost lost Bernard Gilkey during the offseason. Giants made a real run at him. They're really glad they've got him now.
Well, you know, for a long time here in St. Louis, Bernard Gilkey was thought to be a platoon-type player, but Joe Torre has him in the top of the lineup, and right now he leads the National League in hits. He has been swinging a hot bat, and he has been one constant in this St. Louis offense.
And he follows in that long line of good defensive outfielders that have patrolled the big outfield here at Busch Stadium. Cardinals starters are struggling. Their bullpen's overworked, but Glavine and company looking good for the Braves as they play at St. Louis this evening. ESPN Wednesday Night Baseball from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Cards are under 500 at home. Braves are over 500 as they play on the road. Bobby Cox's team 5 in a row. They're chasing the Phillies. They're 3.5 back in the National League East. Phils have won 15 of 18. Braves are hitting .247. That's only 12th in the league. Grissom looking to get it started. Blauser and Chipper Jones to follow. Lefties in the middle with McGriff, Justice, and Ryan Klesko recently off the DL. Javi Lopez, Mark Lemke, and Tom Glavine, a good hitting pitcher, the bottom three.
John Frascatore, a young right-hander, 25 years old, out of New York. This will be his third start of the season. He made his major league debut last July against this same Atlanta Braves ball club in an emergency situation when the Cardinals had back-to-back doubleheaders. The good news was he got his major league debut against the Cardinals, or against the Braves, and the bad news was he was going against Greg Maddux. Lasted just 3 1/3. McGriff and Javi Lopez homered off him.
Danny Jackson didn't fare much better against Maddux here last night. Marquise Grissom playing hurt, struggling. First pitch is a fastball up and in. He's got a sore left heel he's been babying for a while. But look at those numbers. The Grissom-Tarasco numbers, not a very good comparison right now, but he gets things started. And on the wet turf here in St. Louis, that shoots to the gap in a hurry. Brian Jordan returns it, and it's a leadoff double for Grissom.
Well, Grissom gets it started. Let's take a look at the Cardinals defense. Good speed in the outfield. Gilkey, Langford, and Brian Jordan in right. Scott Cooper just over from the Red Sox in an early trade. Trip Comer starts at shortstop. He led the American Association last year in fielding. He is there because Ozzie Smith has been bothered by a sore shoulder. And just before the ball game, Smith was placed on a disabled list. So it's not good news for the Cardinals.
There's Tripp. Here's the other shortstop, Jeff Blauser, looking like a bunt, and he takes a fastball up and in. Blauser, a .250 batter in that number 2 hole. He can move the ball around the field, go the opposite way. He's looking to punch the ball over to the right side to Oquendo or Zeile to move Grissom to third base. Marquise Grissom, by the way, suddenly has base hits in 2 consecutive at-bats. He had an offer going last night, singled in the ninth. Advanced on a wild pitch, eventually came around, so he manufactured an insurance run for Maddux like he needed one last night. And here he is leading off tonight with an extra base hit. Now Frascatore's fallen behind 2-0. And it's ball 3. This is not a good idea with the hitters Atlanta has following.
Well, Frascatore is the type of pitcher that'll come right at you. He's a fastball slider pitcher. He's hard. He throws 90 miles an hour. Chipper Jones, the hottest Brave right now, 6 home runs in his last 14 ball games.
And he couldn't get the 3-0 pitch in there. Well, you've read all about the flooding in the Midwest. There is flooding in the St. Louis area. It just keeps on raining almost every day. We're in the mid-70s. We're going to have scattered showers throughout the night. The game starts with rain and the wind blowing out to right field. The wind is not that much of a factor in this enclosed stadium. That's Mark Riggins, the Cardinal pitching coach.
Just a quick visit out of the dugout, I'm sure, just to get John Frascatore a chance to regroup a little bit. Frascatore is not timid. He'll stay in that strike zone. He'll be aggressive. They really like his velocity and his makeup. This is just his third start of the season. Picked up his first major league win on the 13th of May against the Dodgers. Pitched 5 innings and struck out 6.
There's Bob Gibson on the left. He's the Cardinals bullpen coach, sitting there with Darnell Coles, a longtime American leaguer. Gibson and Riggins working together on this staff. Mark Riggins, a guy who tutored a lot of the young Cardinal pitchers while they were in the minor leagues. Gibson there to teach him how to win. Riggins how to pitch. Here's Chipper Jones, and he lines one down the left field line. It'll one hop at the 3:30 mark. Grissom is home. Blauser will hold at third, and the Braves have double, walk, double, and lead 1-0 already. And Chipper Jones with another RBI. That's his 21st.
Frascatore is coming hard with that fastball, and the Braves are all geared up for it. Look at the swing by Jones. That ball is down and away from him. He goes the other way and keeps it fair just inside the line. Bernard Gilkey plays it off the wall. Grissom scores. Blauser goes to third. 2 doubles and a walk here in the inning.
And here's McGriff. The plot thickens for the young right-hander. Breaking ball hit to first. Todd Zeile stumbles a bit. A run scores as Frascatore receives the throw. And Fred McGriff has his 18th RBI. Now it's 2-0.
One thing you don't want to do with this Braves ball club is fall behind to give their starting pitcher any kind of run support early.
And now Justice at third base with 1 out. He had a home run here last night off Danny Jackson. That was a 2-run shot in the 4th inning that put the Braves up 2-0, and really that was all the scoring that Greg Maddux needed. They tacked on 5 more later. 3 of them on an opposite field homer by Mike Kelly, the young outfielder. So Justice hitting a healthy .328. When he came off the DL, Buck, this team got better in a hurry.
He said that injury has actually helped him concentrate at the plate. He hurt his shoulder diving for a ball in the outfield, and because of that injury, he wasn't really able to take that wild swing. Take a look at the numbers since his return off the disabled. He's hitting almost .350 with a couple of home runs, and he's driven home 8.
8 RBIs in 8 days. Here's the 2-0. And he saw a pitch up and was trying to jump on it. 2 balls and a strike. Frascatore is a young guy who still has to learn how to pitch. He was a winner in the Cardinal organization last year. He was 15-6 at Arkansas and Louisville, the Cardinals' double and AAA affiliates. He's been a starter for a couple of years, Buck, but this is a young pitcher who, when Tom Henke retires, could turn out to be a closer sometime in the future.
Yeah, you like his aggressiveness, his velocity on the fastball. He's got a very good slider. Joe Torre said, you know, this guy might be the closer, but so far we're sticking with him as a starter because he doesn't have any big drop-off in his velocity.
2-2 pitch. And he got him on the inside corner. A delayed call by Greg Bonet. Justice was getting set up for a 3-2, and all of a sudden, late, he got punched out.
Now you can see Justice shaking his head as he walks back to the dugout. He didn't feel that that slider was in the strike zone. Let's take a look at it. It's a late breaking slider with tight spin. Danny Sheaffer, the catcher, does a good job of framing it up for Greg Bonet behind the plate.
That's the second out on the first pitch. Klesko sends Langford back, and he can't reach it. That'll one-hop the wall in the deepest part of the ballpark. It's 402 to dead center, and he lined that one hard straight up that way. He only came into this game 3 for 23 without a run batted in. Now it's 3-0 Atlanta.
Another first pitch fastball. Klesko jumps all over it. Drives it over Langford's head in center, and Ray Langford took a step in before he broke back on that ball. I don't know if it would have made any difference, but he didn't get a real good read off the bat.
Javier Lopez takes the fastball upstairs. 7th Atlanta bat in this inning. Young catcher hitting .306. And he's catching about 4 out of every 5 days. A very capable backup is out there to help him. Charlie O'Brien, who handles Steve Avery a lot.
Bobby Cox is really pleased with the way Javi Lopez is improving in every aspect of his catching. A little better at calling game, getting more comfortable defensively. You look at the Braves and their base stealers caught at second. They're not really doing a very good job of shutting down the running game. And Cox says, hey, it's not Javi's fault. He's throwing very well. Some of our pitchers aren't real good at it. There's Charlie O'Brien, the veteran down in the bullpen, and really is strong defensively.
He had career highs in homers and RBIs for this club last year. Frascatore sneaks the high heater past Lopez. That'll even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's been hit hard. 3 runs on 3 hits already with a walk that didn't help. You walk anybody at the top of this lineup and you're asking for problems. Here's a 2-2 pitch, and a fastball misses. One of the good pickups by the Cardinals during the offseason, former American leaguer Rich DeLucia. He's really done a fine job. And Buck, he'll take the ball just about every day if you give it to him.
Well, he's got a starter background too, so if they should have to go to him early, he can stretch out a few innings.
Here's a 3-2 pitch. Runner going off second, and it's a base hit to left field. Around to score is Klesko. 4-0 Atlanta.
Second baseman,
Both Chipper Jones and Javi Lopez have been awfully productive. Look at Klesko at second base, gets a big jump, takes off for third, and Lopez rips it into left field. Klesko scores easily. Gilkey corrals it and gets it back into the infield, but the Braves have jumped off to a 4-0 lead.
Lopez with his 17th run batted in. The number 8 man in this lineup is Mark Lemke. This is something the Braves have not done that much of. Their team batting average not that good, 247 coming in, but they've been hitting the ball out of the park. Their 32 homers, third best to only the Rockies' 37 and the 33 of the Giants. But tonight they're hitting line drives all over Busch Stadium. One ball, 1 strike, and the Cardinal rotation problems continue, Buck. Danny Jackson's winless. Alan Watson's in the minor leagues. Donovan Osborne, Tom Urbani put on the DL yesterday.
Yeah, they're concerned about Donovan Osborne and the nature of his injury. He's had a history of arm problems. Urbani they're not really sure about so far. Danny Jackson is just regaining his strength. Of course, he had that bout with cancer in the offseason.
And this one lofted to right field. In and over is Jordan to get it. The Braves will get 4. On 4 hits, they strand a runner. And Frascatore roughed up in the first inning tonight. In the first inning, Atlanta sends 8 men to the plate. Everybody bats except Tom Glavine, and he's not bad either. He'll go to the mound to take on the Cardinals, who hit .262. That's number 7 in the league, and a frustrating first for Frascatore.
Now you can see his frustration. A very competitive young man here, and John Frascatore is very frustrated by the 4-run outburst that he allowed the Braves to get here tonight. 4 runs and a walk. Pretty ugly start for the Cardinals, and they've got a lot of ground to make up.
With more hits than anybody in the league is Bernard Gilkey, Jose Akendo, Ray Lenk for the top 3. Todd Zeile's been a good hitter since coming off the DL. Brian Jordan, the 2 sports star. Scott Cooper, the former Red Sox player. Danny Sheaffer, Trip Cromer, and Frascatore, the bottom 3 in the Cardinal lineup against the 29-year-old Atlanta left-hander Tom Glavine. 2-1 so far as he starts game number 6 in 95.
Now, Tom Glavine has had a history of giving up runs in the first inning. This is his 6th start of the season, and Glavine just can't get over the hump in the first inning. He'll give you a little opportunity, but right now he's got a 4-run cushion. Fastball, good curveball, and outstanding changeup. And he's a control guy that'll work both sides of the plate.
Bernard Gilkey steps in. 10th leading batter in the league at .342. And the fastball misses outside. Gilkey's done some slugging. He's got 3 homers and 18 RBIs. He's number 1 in the league in 2 categories. We mentioned hits with 39. He has 14 multi-hit ball games already. the fastball right side, 2-1.
Glavine's first inning problems in my mind are just a little bit of adrenaline. He's got too much going. First inning, 16.20 ERA. Boy, if you don't get him early, you don't have too many opportunities. The changeup down and away.
That's the great neutralizer against right-handed batters.
It takes him a few pitches to really get command of that strike zone.
And a 2-2 pitch. He had Gilkey reaching to foul that one.
One real key for the success of this starting rotation in Atlanta is the fact that they throw a lot of first pitch strikes. And then after that, they make the hitter expand the strike zone. They'll stay out of the middle of the plate, and that makes Leo Mazzoni very happy. Even though he didn't look like it.
That man threw 25 first pitch strikes last night.
Maddox and Kent Merker, Avery, Glavine, and Smoltz for 5-man rotation.
Here's the 3-2 pitch to Gilkey, and right off the end of the bat. Greg Maddux didn't give the Cardinals a hit till Tom Pagnozzi led off the 6th with a bloop single to right field. He was perfect just about all night, hitting spots like you wouldn't believe. Here's the 3-2 again, and Gilkey with a little cue shot again. This one also goes foul.
You know what's interesting about looking at Maddox on the bench right there is the way he's studying this ball game. Even though he beat the Cardinals last night, he's always looking for an edge. He'll sit and watch Gilkey's at bat and see how he reacts to different areas of the plate. Both Cox and Leo Mazzoni have said often they've got 5 starters that really work hard all the time, not only when they're pitching.
And another foul as Gilkey continues to battle. Giants offered Bernard just about $1 million plus incentives to go to San Francisco. His wife was expecting at the time, didn't want to uproot his family to be, and he signed an incentive-laden contract with the Cardinals. He takes it outside and draws the leadoff walk. That's the last thing a pitcher wants to do after he takes the mound with a 4-run lead.
Second baseman, Jose Oquendo.
Let's take a look at the Braves defensively. Ryan Klesko is back in left field after that thumb injury. Marquise Grissom is battling some problems in center field. Dave Justice is in right. There you see Grissom with those 2 gold gloves. He is concerned that the heel might cause him some problems running in the outfield, particularly on this hard surface at Busch Stadium.
Jose Oquendo goes the other way. That's a foul down in the bullpen. And that is a patented Jose Oquendo swing. When this guy bats left-handed, most left fielders play about 30 feet off the line. They spread it a little bit more when he's right-handed, but not very much.
Now he knows he's going to get a pitch away from him from Glavine. He tries to dump it down the right field line, but it just sliced into foul ground.
Cardinals have had a host of injuries at the second base spot. That's a fastball at the knees. No balls, 2 strikes. We're going to have to pan for a while, folks, before you find David Justice.
Way over by the line. They don't expect Oquendo to pull the ball.
Geronimo Phenia rehabbing. Manny Lee rehabbing. So Oquendo's been out there almost every day for the Cardinals. He was a guy that Whitey Herzog loved here in his days. A perfect Whitey type player. Switch hitter. Could run. Play different positions. He even pitched. Here's a 1-2. And he gets away from the breaking ball. Nice play by Javi Lopez.
As I mentioned, Cox is really pleased with the way Lopez has improved his defensive play. Watch his quick move to his left as he gets in front of this ball, gloves it, keeps it right there, and then keeps an eye on Gilkey at first base. Well, it's remarkable how Tom Glavine struggles in the first inning. Just can't find his control.
Gilkey has only stolen 1 base in 4 attempts this year. He's not really a prototype leadoff man. He's fast, but he's not a base stealer per se. He's got a short lead. 2-2 pitch in the dirt, and Glavine is within a pitch of walking another. And Buck, this is not a ball club that hits the ball out of the park very much. You pitch against the Cardinals here, you should come out challenging.
Yeah, and it's really tough on the Braves because they put up a 4 spot in the top of the inning, and now Glavine is giving the Cardinals offense some encouragement by struggling with his control.
3-2 pitch. Gilkey is running, and it's ball 4. Tom Glavine came into this game with 17 strikeouts, but an alarming 14 walks. Not the kind of strikeout to walk ratio Leo Mazzoni or Tom Glavine are looking for.
Well, last Thursday in his start against the Colorado Rockies, Glavine pulled a quad muscle in his left leg running down the first base line, but since then he's thrown twice on the side and said he doesn't really feel like it's a problem. I don't know that it's really affecting him right now, given the rest of his troubles in the first inning early this year.
Ray Lankford, the Cardinals' number 3 hitter. He was a rising star in '92. Lankford was, when he hit 20 home runs, 86 batted in and hit .293. But his last 2 years, .238 and .267. Two and 0.
Guy has to be very frustrating for Glavine. He's very aware of his problems in the first inning. In fact, talked to Bobby Cox about it. Said, "Don't worry, Bobby. We'll give up a run in the first, and then we'll win." He said, "I don't want to hear that."
Here's the 2-0. Lankford taking all the way, and he doesn't like that call from Greg Bonet. Looks like up and in to left-handers is part of that strike zone tonight. We saw Justice earlier, Buck, and now this one.
Let's take a look at this pitch. Borderline high, but Bonet rings it up. Lankford was surprised by that late strike call.
What the Cardinals don't want here is a double play ball. Ray Lankford recently went 530 at bats without grounding into a double play. On a road trip to LA, San Diego, and San Francisco, he did it 3 times in a week. I guess somebody would say that's baseball, right?
Well, he's really tough to double up, given he's a left-handed hitter with good speed coming out of that left-handed batter's box.
Here's a big 3-1 pitch for Glavine, and he's walked the bases loaded without retiring a batter in the first inning. And he'll get a visit.
Leo Mazzoni quickly out of the Braves dugout. This has been a concern for Glavine. First inning problems, and now he's pitched his way into a pretty significant jam. Bases loaded, nobody out. The cleanup hitter Todd Zeile, who's hit almost 380 against Glavine. Glavine's thrown 21 pitches in this inning. Mazzoni doesn't have to go to the mound too often with this pitching staff.
I'm surprised he knows the way.
And you see his pitch total.
Now that's a real contrast to what we saw here last night. Todd Zeile walks into the batter's box. Last night his hitting streak was stopped. He had hit in all 12 since coming off the DL, battling a hand problem that made it painful for him to swing and make contact. Look how he's handled Tom Glavine. He's the tying run at the plate all of a sudden. And he pops it out of play to the left side.
Well, you had to know he was going to be sitting on first pitch. After 3 walks ahead of him, he had it geared up for a strike.
Well, Joe Torre moved from catcher to third base to first base in his major league career. And that's exactly what his batter has done. Todd Zeile came up as a Cardinal catcher. Third baseman. Now he's over at first as the Cards picked up Scott Cooper. Zeile has 3 career grand slams. They all walked Gilkey, Okendo, and Lankford. 0-1 is the count. Good fastball. He's going to make contact now in the hole. 0-2. Todd Zeile off to a slow start last year. Really caught fire after the All-Star break. He really hated to sit down for the first 2 weeks of this season. But the hand injury, it was not going to get better unless he went on the DL. And he's been better. Here's the 1-2. That was close.
Once again, Glavine tries to go down and in. Watch Lopez set up inside. That ball moves off the plate and low.
He does not want to go to ball 3. And Zeile hits it up the middle. Coming home is Gilkey. Oquendo rounding third, and suddenly it's a 4-2 ball game. Todd Zeile starts a new batting streak, and he drives home his 11th and 12th runs of the year.
Well, that's a big boost after you fall behind 4-0 in the top of the first inning to come back against one of the toughest pitchers in the big leagues and deliver a 2-run base hit. Todd Zeile goes right back up the middle on a 2-2 count and cashes in 2 runs. First and second, nobody out.
And Brian Jordan stepping in. The former Atlanta Falcons All-Pro started the season on fire. He's really struggling now. He was hitting way up in the 300, 380 range. There's a little chopper to third. Chipper Jones will throw to first. And the Cardinals move 2 runners up with 1 out. Langford to third and Zeile down to second base. Tom Glavine and the Braves chasing the Phillies. And you look at the difference, Buck. Atlanta 3.5 back. Philadelphia has won 10 of 13 games against the other teams in that division.
And they're not showing any signs of slacking off either. They're really doing it with a tight defense and a very good offensive lineup. No real marquee starters there.
And here's Scott Cooper, a St. Louis native who came over from the Red Sox. A solid 293, although he's been slumping a bit the last week. He just hasn't been driving the ball very much. Only 1 homer. They really bunch him in the outfield. And they don't expect him to pull the ball against Tom Glavine.
In the outfield, they're playing slightly opposite. The right side of the infield is playing him to pull. Lemke straight away, McGriff toward the line. Boy, if he hits the ball on the right side of the infield, he's going to cash in 1 for sure. You got to make sure you put this ball in play and at least cash in that base runner at third.
Glavine's behind another hitter. 2-0 the count. And he pours a fastball in there. Cardinals start the night 6 back of the Cubs. Chicago's won 2 of every 3 so far. They're 16-8. Bob Gibson doesn't like that. He always hated the Cubs when they played. What a great rivalry. Things are not right in St. Louis when the Cubs are in first place, but they played awfully well. And that one misses upstairs. 3-1. Cubs are 3 up on the Reds, 3.5 up on the Astros. And speaking of those 2 clubs, Chicago and Houston have the best staff ERAs in the National League, right ahead of this Atlanta pitching staff. Tom Glavine about to throw his 32nd pitch of the inning. And it's a good breaking ball that fills the count. He's only retired 1 of the first 5. Three and 2 to Scott Cooper. And that one is down low and away, and that'll load him up again. 4 walks in the inning.
Bobby Cox obviously experiencing something he doesn't see very often. A Braves starter walking 4 in an inning.
When's the last time you saw a starter walk 4 in an outing? Ray Langford at third. He walked. Todd Zeile had the 2-run single. He moved to second on the walk to Cooper. Still only 1 out. Danny Sheaffer, the Cardinals' backup catcher, is the batter. Danny had a home run earlier this year that won a ball game for the Cardinals in New York. He's been productive in his limited playing time. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and Glavine's got it in there.
That's a pretty ugly line for Tom Glavine.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Fastball up high. He retired Brian Jordan early in the count. The only hitter he's been ahead of other than that was Todd Zeile. And Zeile came back to get a 2-run single. 2 balls and a strike. And a shot to the gap in left center. That will score at least 2. Cooper had to hold up, and he ends up at third base. They were sort of doing a line dance out on the base paths there for a while, waiting to see if that ball was going to drop. Langford and Zeile are home, Cooper to third, and this ball game is suddenly tied up.
Tom Glavine's nightmares in the first inning continues. He has now allowed 13 runs in his 6 starts in the first inning. Sheaffer goes down and gets a pretty good pitch. Might have been low. Grissom does a good job to cut it off, but the Cardinals have tied it up. And there's still just 1 out.
8 RBIs now for the backup catcher. Here's Trip Cromer. A light-hitting, tall and slender shortstop who did hit homers on consecutive days this past weekend at Candlestick Park. He was a .274 batter at AAA last year. Outstanding defensively. He comes from a baseball family. His father, Roy, a former Cardinal minor league scout and second baseman. A brother, Brandon, in the Blue Jays organization, is shortstop. Brother DT with Oakland in the outfield in that organization. And his brother Burke, a pitcher in the Braves organization. 1 ball, 2 strikes. With Ozzie Smith injured and now on the DL, this guy's done a great job at short. And that fastball evens the count, 2-2.
Last time we saw John Frascatore, he was firing his glove onto the dugout bench. Bet you never thought he'd get a chance to hit in the first, maybe.
2-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss on a good tailing fastball. That's the 2nd out, and the pitcher will be the batter.
Glavine gets the fastball by Cromer. You can see he's still pitching, works the outside part of the plate. Just the 2nd out of the inning.
Still under 50% with the strikes. Frascatore 0 for 5 this year. That's also his career batting mark. And quickly 0-2. Frascatore's out of Queens. He turned 25 in February. He was a Cardinals 24th round pick back in June of '91. Pitched at CW Post, and he doesn't hit here. Cards come back. They get 4 walks, score 4 runs, and after 1, it's 4-4 in St. Louis.
Wake up! It's a brand new month on pay-per-view! Are you ready?
Woody Harrelson and Juliette Lewis are 2 mass murderers who become cult heroes and Oliver Stone's natural-born killers. The last-place Angels get a little help from above in Angels in the Outfield. Take a provocative look at deception and the power of television in Quiz Show. And coming in June, The Little Rascals, The Specialist, and Stargate.
Hi,
I'm Ozzie Smith of the St. Louis Cardinals. My new video from ESPN will teach you the skills and strategies you need to improve your baseball game. You'll learn how to give signs, take a lead, steal a base, turn a double play, hit pitch, and a whole lot more. It will make you a better ball player.
To order Let's Play Baseball with Ozzie Smith, call 1-800-717-ESPN. Only $14.98 plus $4 shipping and handling.
Well, the sky clearing a little bit over Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis in the shadow of the Gateway Arch. And a wild one so far tonight. You wouldn't expect this with Glavine on the mound. Frascatore goes back to work, and the game is tied 4-4 as we move to the top of the second. Buck, the starters have not been good, but look at that ERA from Joe Torre's bullpen.
It's been outstanding, and they picked up Tom Henke to be the closer here in St. Louis, and so far Henke is 8 for 8. He's been outstanding. He's traditionally a slow starter, and Torre said, man, if this is slow, I want to see it in another month.
That's right.
But the bullpen is deep. They've got a lot of good arms out there. Tony Fossis, another former American leaguer, has been outstanding, working almost exclusively against left-handed hitters.
Here's Tom Glavine. This guy can hit 3 for 9 this year. A 186 career batter, but he has 33 RBIs. Got a good hack. Now I wonder if his batting stroke, Buck, is the same as his slap shot stroke. He was drafted in hockey.
Oh, he's a great athlete. He really works hard on his hitting. Right now, I bet you he's really squeezing that bat as he looks at a fastball, and Frascatore makes quick work of his mound opponent, Tom Glavine. Second strikeout tonight.
They have fanned each other. And speaking of hockey, Stanley Cup action continues on ESPN. Red Wings looking good against the Sharks. They've dominated so far, scoring 6 goals in each game. But the Sharks have been resilient this year. They've been able to bounce back many times. The road to the Stanley Cup continues on ESPN and ESPN2. And we'll see if the good hitting continues for Marquise Grissom. He's got base hits his last 2 at-bats. And coincidentally has scored runs each of those times. A little dunker down the right field line. There's a foul. 0-2. Well, you can see how that back heel is taped up. Buck, this is a leadoff man who was 2nd in the league in runs last year and was 3rd in steals. He stole 36 bases. As a team, the Braves only swiped 48.
Now, they stepped out of the batter's box last week in Atlanta and injured that heel, and it's really an unusual injury. There's some sort of pull in the bottom of that heel that's causing him an awful lot of pain, and he said, I really wasn't aware how important your feet are. Good breaking ball out to short. Cromer charges, forget it. That was an AstroTurf hit. Even had that ball been fielded cleanly by Trip Cromer, I'm not sure he would have thrown out Marquise Grissom. He's 2 for 2. Now, Grissom has said all along that he's hit the ball very well, just hasn't had much luck, and this will pay him back for some of those line drives that have been caught. Cromer really has no chance other than to just swipe at it. Let's take a look at Grissom as he runs down the line. See if he shows any signs of that heel injury. He's running pretty full speed right there. He smells that base hit. He's over 200 for the first time in a while, so that heel wasn't the problem. He hit the bag with his bad foot. He's at first base with 1 out. Jeff Blauser, the batter. His walk really opened things up for the Braves in that first inning. After Grissom doubled, Blauser walked, and that's when the Atlanta fun started with the bats. Blauser working with a new 3-year contract. He had a great season in '93, batting .305. Faded a bit to .256 in '94. But you talk about a steady pair up the middle. This guy with Mark Lemke. Not many mistakes there. And Rafael Belliard to back up. Yeah, they've got a tandem up the middle that have few peers in the National League. They know each other very well. They're both very durable players. Yeah, that's the good Frascatore heater. You saw Blauser late for it. He can get it up there high 80s, low 90s. That one was right at 90 miles per hour.
Hitting room on the right side for Blauser with first base occupied. Runners going. Pitch is down low, and so is the throw to second. The Cardinals have an outstanding catcher in Tom Pagnozzi. Their ability to throw out runners falls off a little bit with Danny Sheaffer, but Buck, I think he stole that one on the pitcher.
Well, watch Grissom's first move. 1-2, he's full speed. One quick look toward home plate. He knows he got a good jump. Anytime he feels that good jump, he says, I should steal it. He's 6 of 7 now. Frascatore needs to hold him a little closer.
2-1 pitch coming. And a fastball evens the count. So the lead run in scoring position with 1 out here in the top of the second. He started and then stopped thinking about third base. And Buck, you made the point. Pay attention to the runner. You don't forget him just because he gets to second.
No, you've got to make sure he stops. You can't allow any great base stealer to get a walking lead toward third.
Frascatore 1-0. Came in with a good ERA of 2.87. This is his 3rd start, his 5th appearance of the year. He can be a strikeout pitcher. He needs one on 2-2. Only 3 of 18 with runners at second and third. Is Blauser. And a good-looking breaking ball. Frascatore gazes in. Did not get the call from Greg Bonet.
Take a look at this last pitch to Jeff Blauser. It's a slider. He has called pitches that have been that close earlier, particularly on that side of the plate.
That one's not close. He's walked another. 2 on 1 out. Let's check in with Carl Ravitch.
Bob, thanks very much. Welcome to our Wednesday Night Baseball studios. The Cubs have played only 8 games at home. They're 4 up and 4 down. They have played 16 on the road, and they've won 12 of them. Roberto Mejia's coming home, and he throws it high and wide. The Cubbies win it 5-3. Myers gets saved 10. Back to you, Bob.
All right, Carl, and for Randy Myers, that puts him 1 behind Heathcliff Slocum, the former Cub, who's doing a great job closing things for Jim Fregosi in Philadelphia. With that win, the Cubs are 17-8 on the year. They're going to be playing 700 ball here pretty soon. Chipper Jones up in another RBI spot. Runners are going. The throw to second, and there they've got Blauser. Grissom hard into third, but they went the long way to get the caught stealing.
Great job by Sheaffer. He saw Grissom with a great jump toward third and thought he'd take a shot at Blauser. Watch Grissom. He gets a good jump off Frascatore. Sheaffer never even looks at third base, delivers a strike to Oquendo, and Blauser is shot down. Very alert play by a veteran catcher.
0-1 the count. Runner at third, 2 outs now. And Frascatore misses inside. Chipper Jones now has at least 1 RBI in 12 of his last 15 ball games. Grounder up the middle. Oquendo backhand, and he fumbles it. And the Cardinals defense will hurt them again. Only the Expos and the Dodgers have made more errors this year than St. Louis. Oquendo normally reliable. But, Buck, that's some of the habits fielders have gotten into over the years, backhanding it like that on the artificial turf.
Well, that really wasn't that tough a play. That went right off the heel of his glove, and if he takes another step, you're right, he might be able to play that right in front of him, but he tried to go with the backhand, and it cost the Cardinals 22 unearned runs. That's the most in the National League, and that defensive problem continues for the Cardinals.
Todd Zeile has 4 errors. Scott Cooper has 7. That's 2 for Oquendo. Frascatore should be out of the inning. Scott Cooper had 3 errors in that crazy game at LA a week and a half ago. The Cardinals and the Dodgers combined for a dozen. McGriff with a high chopper. Cromer comes forward to get it. steps on the bag. Unearned run for the Braves. On a hit, a walk, a couple of steals, and an error. 5-4 Atlanta.
Astros and Reds, and Derek Bell a little upset. He went 5 for 5 last night and they lose. First inning after a 32-minute rain delay, Bell continues to hit. An RBI single scores. Mouton made it 1-0. Reynolds and Shurik your starters in this one, Bob.
All right, Carl, thank you. Couple of ball clubs from the Cardinals division battling. Reds are 3.5 back. Houston 4 back after the Cubs win. Bottom of the second, Gilkey leads off again. I don't know if it was symbolic or the power of suggestion, Buck Martinez, but they played Born to be Wild on the PA system here in between innings for Tom Glavine to hear. He walked 4 batters in the first inning. Now Gilkey hits one well out to left field. Klesko is over in the gap to get it.
Gilkey takes a good cut at this ball, but it's sinking away from him. He hits it down toward the end of the bat. Initially, he felt like he got it pretty good, but it didn't really carry here in this big ballpark in St. Louis, and Klesko was able to track it down.
Yeah, the air is kind of damp and heavy here, and this is a big enough park to begin with. It's always been a great pitcher's park. Okendo takes one on the corner. And he goes the other way. This is why they play him near the line. Justice in foul ground for the second out.
And we're seeing that pattern continue. It's playing itself out right here in the second inning. Glavine walked 4, gave up 4 runs in the first, and now he's got 2 outs. He dropped the curveball on the outside corner, got Okendo to fly out and foul ground down the right field line.
And we noticed Justice babying that shoulder a little bit after he reached across his body to grab the fly ball. Ray Lankford with the bases empty and 2 outs. He was the 3rd consecutive man to walk in that first inning. Cardinals might regret not scoring more runs.
Justice still having problems with that right shoulder that he injured diving for a ball in the outfield. Sent him to the disabled list, and Glavine continues to pound the strike zone now.
That shoulder looked pretty good last night when David turned on a Danny Jackson fastball and hit it out of here. But he's hurting for certain right now. Here's the 0-2. Ray Lankford, good speed, good power. Cardinals pretty set on their outfield now. With Mark Whitten departed, Brian Jordan's the everyday man in right field. Next to this man in center and Gilkey over in left. If Jordan hits the way he started the season, they'll be a great trio.
Now, it's not unusual for a young guy to have peaks and valleys during the course of a season. He got off to a fast start and then started to chase some bad pitches, got in a rut, and he's trying to work his way out of it now.
Swing and a miss, and Glavine comes back and gets 3 in a row. 45 pitches in the first inning, only 11 there. Justice hurting a little bit. He'll be the leadoff man in a minute.
The earth is a one-celled organism, and you reduce it down and you put a seam on it and you got a baseball, and everything is round. It goes all the way around. This line goes around for infinity. It continues and continues and continues. It never stops. And that's the way the earth, it rotates on its axis, and you have spring and summer, and you have the baseball season, and then it gets dormant and everybody goes to South America and you're down there, but it goes back.
Game 2, Rangers and White Sox. Game 1 went to the White Sox 10-8, and Texas is upset about it. Benji Gill, a 3-run shot off Alex Fernandez. They scored 7 runs in the inning, made it 8-zip. Fernandez is gone. James Baldwin's in his place. Since then, Thomas has gone deep. It's 8-3, Bob.
All right, Carl, I think the Rangers have found their shortstop for a number of years. Benji Gill, good hitter, still learning how to get it done defensively. And let's have a look at the shoulder during this at bat, Buck. Dave Justice is obviously hurting some.
And the career batting average against the Cardinals will ease some of that pain, I'm sure. The thing he says about the shoulder problem was that as long as he keeps his arms down lower than shoulder high, he doesn't have too many problems. But when he has to reach for a ball above his head, that's when it causes him pain.
Frascatore falls behind 2-0. Third inning underway. Atlanta has out-hit St. Louis 5-2. Braves lead the Cardinals 5-4. And he tried to pull a pitch away. That's a fair ball. Zeile's got it unassisted. Ball was fouled by the time he fielded that, but it was way beyond the bag when it went foul.
Justice goes after a pitch on the outside part of the plate, rolls the top hand and beats it into the ground to first base. I don't think he really expected that ball to stay fair, but I didn't see any effects of the shoulder problem causing any pain there.
There's Ryan Klesko. He goes up hacking again. Oquendo stops it. Can't make the throw until he gets it out of his glove, and that took a while. Jose, after last inning's boot that cost the Cardinals an error, wasn't going to stay on his feet for this one.
Well, you can see he does a good job to come up with it, but then can't find the ball in his glove. Klesko hustling down the line has himself his second hit of the night. It's got to be frustrating for a defensive player when you make a play like that and then boot a ball that is fairly routine.
Yeah, usually only first or second year guys do that. Not people like Oquendo who've been around for a long time. Javier Lopez with an RBI base hit his first time. Ryan Klesko, 1 stolen base last year. None this year. Draws the throw.
Well, he broke at second base when he was on after that double and scored on Javi Lopez. So Frascatore says, I'm not going to forget about you, Mr. Klesko.
1-on-1 out in the Atlanta third. And he got him on the fists. It's fouled straight back out of play. Javier Lopez. Still a young player in this game. Braves going to give him time to develop. We told you about Charlie O'Brien, the capable backup. That one's right down the heart of the plate. 0-2. Frascatore hasn't had that routine inning yet. Faced 8 men in the first, 5 in the second, and it took a caught stealing to keep it that low. He's given up a 1-out hit here in the third. No balls and 2 strikes to Javier Lopez. And a fly ball near the line and right. Jordan's got a ways to go. He dives and can't get there. It's down into the bullpen. Heading for third base is Klesko. He will stop there as the throw is into Zeile, the cutoff man. Now, Buck, when you see a fielder have to go that far and still can't get the ball, was that a pitching mistake? Because they obviously didn't have him defensed at all like that.
No, that's not a pitching mistake. He just flared that ball down the line. They've got so much respect for his power toward right center. Brian Jordan was way over in the gap. You can see he gets jammed and just fights it off and dumps it down the line. Jordan's got the long run, the desperation dive, but he can't come up with it. The defense wasn't aligned improperly. Javi Lopez just gets jammed and flares one down the right field line. Jordan was playing him in right center.
4 extra base hits, all doubles by the Braves already. Runners at second and third, 1 out. Mark Lemke, the batter. Lemke flied to Jordan his first time. And he hits a pop-up out into left field. Not too deep. Gilkey waiting for it. Klesko tagging, and he will stop. Runners at second and third, 2 outs now. Let's check in with Carl.
All right, Bob, San Francisco, Philadelphia, Paul Quantrill. He got Bonds the first time. This is the first game he's faced him, and boom! Bonds goes deep to left center. His 5th of the year, a solo shot. Quantrill, 3-1. The Phillies with a 4th best ERA in the NL. The NL, 4 of the top 5 ERAs in the game. Back to you.
Right behind Atlanta. Braves came in at 3.71. Barry Bonds should be seeing some good pitches the way Matt Williams has been hitting behind him. He destroyed the Cardinals in San Francisco over the weekend. Here's Glavine. Matt Williams is driving everything right now.
All pitches to all fields. Compact swing. Very confident.
Frascatore struck out Glavine looking first time. 2-0. This is a good hitting pitcher.
Yeah, but he doesn't hit as good as Marquise Grissom. Frascatore has to finish off the inning right here. Grissom on deck already has 2 hits in the ballgame.
He got the inside corner. That makes it 2-1. That pitch has been a strike all night. I don't know if it's supposed to be a strike, but he's been consistent.
Like it may have been a bit up, but he's called it all night long.
High chopper hitting near the plate. Nobody's covering first. And Glavine's hurt coming out of the batter's box. A run scores at 6-4 Atlanta, but Tom Glavine is hurting.
That's the quad muscle that he pulled last time out, last Thursday in Atlanta. Bobby Cox obviously very concerned as he comes out of the dugout. You can see that left leg with a big wrap on it. The reaction, he sees the ball go off the plate, knows he's got a chance for a base hit, and he doesn't think anything about that quad, but right here, he feels it give again. Let's take another look at it. He beats it right off the plate. And he knows he's got a chance for a base hit. Look at the effort going down the line, not thinking at all about that leg, and then he feels it grab just a few strides short of first base.
This is the first half of our Wednesday night doubleheader. We're sending you west next. It's down to double figures, less than 100 to go for Cal Ripken. Game number 2033 tonight. Mike Messina on the mound for the Orioles against Ruben Sierra and the Athletics. They'll throw Dave Stewart, and Mark McGwire hitting well, among the league leaders in homers and RBIs, 10 and 29. Wayne Stats and Dave Campbell later tonight from the Bay Area. Joe Torre on his way to the mound, and usually when he goes out there, that means he has seen enough.
Now he's had Rich DeLucia up, and that's going to be the end of the night for John Frascatore.
He'll go only 2 2/3, give up 6 runs. A couple of men still on base. DeLucia coming in for the Cards. A rough night, and it's now over for John Frascatore. He's already given up 5 earned runs, 6 total, 8 base hits. Couple of walks, couple of strikeouts. He's responsible for up to 2 more men that are on base as he leaves the ball game. And St. Louis right-hander Rich DeLucia, 30 years old, has been around the American League for a while with the Reds last year, takes over here.
DeLucia is a very effective starting pitcher for the Seattle Mariners. He started 31 ball games back in '91. He's working out of the pen now. fastball, curveball, slider, and a changeup. He's got the entire assortment. Javi Lopez at third base. Tom Glavine, that quad muscle, tightly wrapped at first base. Infield base hit with 2 outs.
And a man 2 for 2 at the plate. Grissom has hit safely his last 3 at-bats in this series, and he scored all 3 times. Braves are starting to see what they were expecting after they made the big trade to bring this guy to Atlanta. He rocks one up the middle. Home to score is Lopez. Glavine stops at second, and it's 7-4 Braves.
Marquise Grissom, 3 hits so far in the ball game, and we're still in the 3rd inning. Boy, he jumped all over that high fastball. DeLucia tried to sneak one by him upstairs. That run will be charged to John Frascatore, and he's still responsible for Tom Glavine at second.
Jeff Blauser steps in. Fastball is in there. Blauser walked and scored in the first, walked, caught stealing in the second. And there's the breaking ball in there, 0-2.
DeLucia's done a very good job neutralizing tough hitters in the National League. They're hitting under 200 against him so far this season. That was just the 9th hit he's allowed in over 16 innings of work.
Yeah, the only reason his ERA is about 3.5 is because he walked a bunch of guys his first few outings. He's been good lately. Out there for the 13th time this year. Cardinals now have 4 relievers with 13 or more appearances. Ken Hill will pitch a day game tomorrow. Now the count's 2-2 on Blauser. Tom Glavine's at second base. Marquise Grissom 3 for 3 at first. Well, at least the Cardinals know he won't steal this time. And a fly ball out to center. Pretty well hit. Langford circling back and backpedaling. He's got it. Ball hit pretty well by Blauser. Braves pick up a couple more. The injured Glavine heading back to the mound. We'll check on him when we come back. 7-4 Braves. Wild one so far. They've got 9 hits through 3 innings at the plate. Cards coming up, and Sunday Night Baseball coming your way. Raul Mondesi, home run number 9 for the Dodgers last night. Moises Alou, one of the outstanding young players in all of baseball. Along with Tony Tarasco, they've got the Expos playing very well, even though they lost some of their big guns. John and Joe Sunday night. Hideo Nomo scheduled to pitch 7:56 Eastern on the coast a little earlier. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. Let's check out Tom Glavine. A Jekyll and Hyde night. Now we'll see if he's healthy.
Well, now the quadricep muscle comes into question because he re-injured it hustling out that base hit. So we'll keep our eye on him this inning.
Todd Zeile, thinking about an injured pitcher, offered to bunt. He wouldn't lay one down there, would he?
You bet. Try to test Glavine, see if he can get off the mound. Chipper Jones is real deep at third base.
Breaking ball down low. 1 ball, 1 strike to Zeile. Collected the big hit for the Cardinals in the first inning when he singled in 2 runs with the bases loaded. Danny Sheaffer, a 2-run double later. Atlanta has scored 3 runs since. And now Zeile doesn't like that call from Greg Bonet. We've had an unusual strike zone so far tonight. Chopper out to Lemke. Tom Glavine has now retired 6 consecutive St. Louis batters.
Todd Zeile didn't like that call on an inside fastball, and you've got to think about the inside part of the plate facing Tom Glavine. That makes his plate about 25 inches wide. Zeile was a little bit upset by that inside fastball. Danny Sheaffer says, yeah, he's had a wide strike zone tonight. I know, I was back there catching it.
When in doubt about a strike zone, talk to a catcher. Here's Brian Jordan. He swings early in the count again. Out to short, Blauser. 2 down.
Let's take a look at Glavine as he works through his delivery. Remember, he's got that quadricep muscle on his left leg. He lands on his right leg. Didn't have any problems at all. It's a round ball in Blauser's hands, and he makes quick work of Brian Jordan.
Scott Cooper is next. Has his only home run in this big ballpark. Seeing some of those other places for the first time on the West Coast. He had some defensive problems in LA, San Diego, and San Francisco, and didn't hit very well during that 10-game road trip the Cardinals just came back from on Sunday. And a good breaking ball, 1-2.
I don't think Glavine's quad muscle is bothering him at all as he works in this inning here. Anytime he seems to have any problems is when he runs.
And he rings him up on a big breaking ball. That will be 8 in a row for Glavine. 4 strikeouts during that time. A 9-pitch inning that time. Cooper and the Cardinals gone.
Sunday night at 8, Tommy and the Dodgers leave the friendly confines of Chavez Ravine to take on the Expos. LA versus Montreal, part of a Memorial Day weekend of baseball on ESPN.
630 feet high is the Gateway Arch in St. Louis, completed back in the 60s, right before Busch Stadium was built. Cardinals have been playing here since '66. Not often here that you can't see the top of the arch. And a little Cardinal fan enjoying things here tonight. Cardinals have tried to get some fans back to the park like everybody has. St. Louis averaging 23,000 a game so far. This has been one of the great drawing franchises in all of baseball, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Fred Bird, by the way, in the middle of the shot there. 0-1 is the count to Chipper Jones leading off the Atlanta 4th inning. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI double and an error. The formula has always been pretty basic for the Cardinals here in St. Louis. They normally could draw about $2.5 million just by opening the gates. If they had a contending team, they would draw $3 million.
I don't think anybody should be surprised by the drop-off in attendance because of the strike situation. I think the Cardinals' attendance is down just like everybody else's, largely to the fact that group sales haven't been as high as they would be normally because no one really knew what the schedule was going to be like.
And there's a strike. That'll fill the count to Jones. Chipper followed by Fred McGriff and Dave Justice.
A lot of groups plan their summers around ball games, and they just didn't make those plans this summer.
Fastball away. Leadoff man aboard. Let's check in with Carl Ravitch.
All right, Bob, Milwaukee and Cleveland. Mark Clark, 9 hits and 6 runs. He gets taken out because he was getting hit hard. Jason Grimsley then comes in and doesn't allow him to hit anything. 3 consecutive wild pitches. Hull scores. He has since been injured. We'll update his condition. It is now 7-1. Back to you.
All right, Carl, thank you very much. Milwaukee under 500, and that's the second place team in that division. Cleveland 16-7, but the Brewers, Royals, White Sox, and Twins better get it going.
Yeah, Indians have a great offensive ball club, and they'll leave the rest of the clubs in that division in the dust if they don't start turning it around.
better be careful. Somebody might start calling them the AL West. That division's looking a little better this year with the Angels winning 4 in a row, and they're 15-9 right now. Fred McGriff 0 for 2 with an RBI grounder. And DeLucia with a good running fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Fred McGriff's really not swinging the bat the way he will later on this summer, hitting just under 250 as this game started. He's kind of a tinkerer. He likes to make some minor changes all the time.
High drive, right field. It is high, it is deep, and it is gone. That's his 5th homer of the year, only his 3rd since opening day when he hit a pair. He plates 2 runs, and it's 9-4 Atlanta.
That's the first home run Rich DeLucia has allowed this season, and Fred McGriff got all of that one. A booming high drive to right field. Looked like a changeup. He got all of it. Look at the high finish. No doubt in McGriff's mind. That ball was away from him. He recoils, takes a look at Brian Jordan, once again back to the ball, and knows he's got home run number 5.
RBIs number 18 and 19. Justice the batter. Braves have scored in every inning. 4 in the first, 1 in the second, 3 last inning. Excuse me, 2 last inning, 2 more here. And DeLucia with a fastball for a strike to Justice. Braves have now hit 33 homers. That's what the Giants had going into this evening. They were number 2 in the league behind Colorado with 37. You're looking at one of the reasons Fred McGriff will warm it up. With David Justice behind him in the lineup, he'll see more fastballs. And he lost that one. Probably hit it about 395 out there to right center.
You know, we mentioned the Braves are starting to heat it up. They've won 8 out of the last 10, 5 straight. And the hitters are starting to catch up to the pitching, too. They came into this game 13th in the league in hitting. Just now starting to heat it up. Chipper Jones, as we talked about, has been the most consistent Braves hitter. Now Justice back in the lineup off the DL. He's been hot. Javi Lopez is starting to produce some runs, and they're spreading the offense around.
And DeLucia has a fastball in there to punch out Justice. That's the first out, and here's Carl again.
All right, Bob, we've showed you the Milwaukee-Cleveland game. They have 8 runs. You have 13. How about this shot from Chad Curtis? Detroit, Minnesota, they already have 12 runs. Alex Cole hit a 3-run shot for the Twinkies, who, by the way, have the worst ERA in the game, and it's showing. Radke got crushed. Back to you.
Minnesota losers of 3 in a row. They started the night 9 back of Cleveland in the Central. Tigers hanging in there in the East, only 3.5 back of the Red Sox, who slumped to 3 consecutive losses. Ryan Klesko 2 for 2. He goes up hacking. That's the first time he takes a pitch right there. Double for a run in the first. Single. Scored a run in the third. He's been nursing an injured left thumb. Just came off the DL last week. David Justice been storming around the dugout, not happy about Greg Bonet's strike zone. High fastball, high in the air to left field. That's Bernard Gilkey. And that's 2 outs. Gilkey's been looking up into that St. Louis sky for a long time. He grew up in nearby University City. There you see the expanse of this outfield. When they built this ballpark, it was 414 to center, and the wall was almost 11 feet high. They brought the wall down to 8 feet and moved it in from the gaps out to center field. First pitch swinging. Lopez, a liner to Jordan. 3 in a row, but it comes after a big blast by the big first baseman. After Chipper Jones walked, Fred McGriff sent a majestic shot out of here. It was his 5th of the year, and when this one landed, the Braves took a 9-4 lead. Scoring both of their hits in the very first inning, Tom Glavine has shut the doors since then. Bottom 3 in the order, Sheaffer, Cromer, and then the pitcher's spot. Danny Sheaffer with a pop-up. McGriff in the stands, knows he's got plenty of room, 1 out. That's 9 straight now for Glavine.
Really tough time tonight for defensive players playing pop-ups here in St. Louis. The lights really haven't taken effect, and there's a very gray sky that they're trying to find that ball in.
And a little foggy here. Trip Cromer, the batter. Glavine struck him out first time, and he takes one outside. Tall, rangy shortstop. The way he has come in here and smoothly played at that position, he's reminded some St. Louis folks of one of the great shortstops of all time, Marty Marion, who played not in this ballpark, but uptown a long time ago. That's 2 outs and a fly ball to Justice. Trip Cromer is that good defensively. But he's 0 for 2, and Rich DeLucia will bat here. He'll stay in the game and pitch with the bases empty and 2 outs. Rich DeLucia, 1 for 1. Got his first major league hit over the weekend in San Francisco. But he hasn't seen many changeups like that.
Glavine went to the stat sheet and saw he was leading the world in hitting and said, I better not throw him a fastball.
And here's the 0-2 pitch. That was a very brief at bat, very brief inning. Glavine, 11 straight. He leads by 5. It's a special edition of the Baseball Across America Tour, ESPN2. Roger Clemens, his road to recovery. His rehab continues. He'll throw for the Pawtucket Red Sox against the Syracuse Chiefs. That's the Blue Jays AAA club. And that comes up on the Deuce Sunday, 6 o'clock Eastern time. Last night for Sarasota, their single-A club, 4 no-hit innings, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks. He hit 96 on the gun. And Buck Martinez, some single-A hitters haven't seen anything like that in a while.
Yeah, and they're going to go home thinking that everybody in the big leagues throws like that.
I'll never make it up there. Here's Lemke. Rich DeLucia still in there for St. Louis. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mark Lemke's hit the ball in the air twice. Once to right, once to left field. Jordan and Gilkey have caught him. And he's hit it in the air again. Gilkey looking into the twilight. 1 out, and let's check in with Carl Ravitch.
Hi, Bob. Neither Glavine nor, of course, Frascatore have yet to go 9 this season. Cohn's done it twice, and early on he gets hit hard. Gaetti doing some yard work. His 5th of the season, that off Cohn. It is 2-1 in favor of Kansas City in the top of the 4th. Back to you.
All right, Carl, only one pitcher from Atlanta has gone the distance in this series. Maddox. Will Glavine do it tonight? Steve Avery went the distance earlier this season. Same as David Cohn, 2 of them. The Cardinals have not had anybody really that close to a complete game. Does Glavine really want to hit the ball and run here, Buck?
Well, I bet you if he hits it, he's not going to run.
1 ball and 2 strikes. He's got an RBI single last time up when he hurt himself running to first base, aggravating that quad. And he'll walk back to the dugout. Second strikeout for Rich DeLucia.
Center fielder Marquise Grissom.
And back to the top of the order to see if the perfect night for Marquise Grissom can continue. Well, Glavine's a competitor, but sometimes you just have to forget about certain things so you can stay out there, get the win, and help your team. Marquise hits it hard, but right at Cromer. And a Cardinal pitcher finally gets a 1-2-3. Halfway through in St. Louis. Braves looking for 6 in a row. They're halfway there. Bernard Gilkey for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 5th inning. Tom Glavine has retired 11 consecutive hitters. If he goes beyond ball 1 here, it'll be amazing. He walked 4 in the 1st inning, and since then has not gone beyond 1 ball in the count. He's got the comebacker. 1 out. Here's Carl.
All right, Bob. Kansas City, Toronto. It was 2-1 until Alex Gonzalez comes up, and Gonzalez plops one in to left center. It scores Devon White. It is now 2-2. Cone and Gordon still in.
Alex Gonzalez hit 2 home runs last night, his first and second major league home runs.
Is he still batting up as high in the order as he was earlier?
Hitting second in the lineup, but he's being semi-platoon now with Domingo Cedeno.
Here's Oquendo, 0-1 to him. And that's inside. Really like the attitude that Robbie Alomar showed when Cito Gaston put him down in that 6th spot. He said, hey, I'm here to win. Let's do it if it works.
And it's working for Alomar. He really hasn't missed a beat.
2 balls and a strike to the Cardinals' second baseman, Jose Oquendo. Tom Glavine with a dozen in a row. He's got the right-handers reaching. Tom needs to come out about a half hour before every game, pitch a simulated 1st inning in the bullpen, put some hitters down there. And a bouncer out to second. Lemke, 2 down. And then his 2nd inning can be his 1st.
Yeah,
he'll be fine.
If he pitches at home, they can put a 2 on the scoreboard. 2nd inning.
That's right.
4 runs in the 1st inning here tonight. Since the 1st inning, it's been perfect.
Ray Lankford steps in with the bases empty, 2 outs. This is a lot like what Maddox did here last night. Glavine just waited 1 inning to start his. Greg Maddox last night retired 15 straight to start the game before a 6th inning base hit. Lankford with a grounder to McGriff. This will be 14 in a row. To the 6th we go. McGriff will bat after Blauser and Chipper Jones. Braves in control right now.
This scar here, regular season. Got this scar here, regular season. This scar here, regular season. This one, playoffs. Slashing caused me to miss a shift.
Well, the face of this game has changed considerably. Lots of hitting early. Lots of pitching now. Rich DeLucia back out there for the Cardinals against Blauser, Jones, and McGriff. And Jeff Blauser 0 for 1 with 2 walks. Takes a breaking ball outside. Dave Justice still doesn't like that strike zone.
Well, he's explaining his plight to Clarence Jones, the batting instructor, and he'll listen. That's part of his job, listening to his hitters. Yeah, Dave, you're right. That was a bad call. You'll get it next time, big boy.
I'm telling you, Buck, you got all the words. You can stand right behind the batting cage during BP and have those guys thinking they're all 400 hitters. Keep that shoulder in, though.
Yeah, I don't know, boy. That didn't look good to me, Dave.
1 ball and 2 strikes to the Atlanta shortstop. If you joined us late, the Cardinals shortstop Ozzie Smith has been put on the disabled list for 15 days because of his sore shoulder. It'll be Trip Cromer for a while. And Blauser is gone to start the 6th inning. And we're going to keep our eye on that dugout for you folks so that we can
Third baseman Chipper Jones.
get a clue what's happening with Tom Glavine. He's got his 5 innings now that he needs for a victory. No activity in the bullpen yet. He evidently is okay. I'm sure they'll keep a close eye on him. And Chipper Jones fouls one off to the left side.
This is Tom Glavine as he finished up the bottom of the 5th inning. He had to cover first base, and you could see he was limping as he broke to cover the bag. Showing some signs that that quad might be tightening up. Back in the 3rd inning, got an infield base hit, hustled down the line and pulled up short of the first base bag. He had injured that quad initially last Thursday in a start against Colorado.
And a breaking ball out to the second baseman, Chipper Jones, thrown out by Oquendo. Now DeLucia has settled down since the McGriff homer. He's retired 8 in a row. And he'll face Fred with the bases empty, 2 outs here in the 6th. Fred had 2 home runs and 5 RBIs opening day. Then he hit only 1 homer over a 9-game span coming into this series. But he's gone deep tonight. RBI totals up to 20. He's driven home 3 this evening. A 34-homer man last year in that abbreviated season. He was a lock for 100 RBIs. 94 mid-August.
Well, when Fred gets hot, there's really no place at all to pitch him. That's when this club really takes off. And he's got Justice behind him, and Justice is hitting with runners on base.
And he lines one to the gap in left center. Yoki over to cut it off. Fred McGriff now 2 for 4. Dave Justice coming up again. He's been rung up twice tonight looking, and he has to be wondering where the strike zone is when he comes up this time.
The 4th inning, he gets a called strike on him, says no way that's a strike. And then this pitch right here, he thought it was ball 4, but he's rung up for the 2nd time tonight, and he was very upset by the call. He's been having trouble with Greg Bonet all night long, and he has not agreed with his strike zone.
Ball 1 on the breaking pitch. And that fastball is in there.
Now he's talking to himself. A little over anxious there. He was out in front talking to himself about staying back.
And DeLucia missing outside. 2 balls and a strike. With Fred McGriff's base hit, Atlanta now has 11 hits in the game. They haven't had too many like this season. Their team batting average .247 coming in, bottom 3 in the league. And that's ball 3. Runner at first, 2 outs. Atlanta on top by 5. And that'll fill the count. Fred McGriff will be running with the pitch. Dave, if it's close, you better be hacking.
Well, you can see he takes a couple of steps to regroup.
Todd Zeile playing behind McGriff. I just wonder how much that shoulder is bothering his swing, along with the mental anguish he's going through right now because of those two punch-outs. We saw him earlier tonight, really rubbing that right shoulder.
I don't think he had any problems with it on that swing. That ball was probably 4 or 5 inches outside, and he got to it okay.
Fastball. It was a strike, and it's hit well but foul.
He said he doesn't have too many problems at the plate when he swings. His right shoulder is the one that he's hurt. You can see no problem at all getting to that inside fastball. He was out in front of it and pulled it into the bullpen. It's only when he reaches high above his head to make a catch in the outfield that he experiences any pain.
3-2 pitch again. And that's ball 4. Just to be safe, we were waiting a while. Bonet is slow with his calls, and Justice goes down to first base. McGriff to second. 2 on, 2 out. That's Rich DeLucia's second walk issue. He'll face Ryan Klesko, a left-hander with power. Ryan came in 3 for 23. Got his first RBI of the year here tonight. This is another bat in this lineup, Buck, that'll make things better for the guys in front of him.
Well, Klesko injured that left thumb on May 2nd, sliding into second base. He got it stuck underneath the bag, and the Braves were really fortunate that it wasn't a more serious injury. He was able to come back much quicker than they initially expected.
At the last minute, he decided to swing at the breaking ball and fouled it back.
Well, he has tremendous power, and he is just now regaining the stroke at the plate, trying to wear off the effects of being on the disabled list. He's quick. That ball was back over the plate and still got to it all right.
6'3", 220. He had 17 home runs last year, drove home 45 in less than 250 at-bats. You give him 500 at-bats and project those numbers. He's a mid-30s guy in homers, and he's 90+ runs batted in. He won't be 24 years old until the 12th of June. Big breaking ball. He had to wait for it, and he was still out ahead.
Kept his hands back very well right there. It was a slow hook. Took his stride, but his hands stayed back, and he was able to get to that curveball. Watch the stride. Foot goes, but the hands stay back, and he still has enough to get after that curveball. Pretty good pitch. He fouled off. Stay alive.
2 on, 2 out. The count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. Braves bat top of the 6th, leading the Cardinals 9-4. Now both runners will be moving on a 3-2 pitch. McGriff singled with 2 outs, and Justice walked. Rich DeLucia in his 4th inning of work in relief of John Frascatore, who only lasted 2 2/3. And with the runners moving, a big fly straight back. Don't forget, coming up later tonight, the Orioles are out west. Cal Ripken, game 2033. Ruben Sierra's been swinging better lately for the Athletics. Mark McGuire's a big presence, 10 homers, 29 ribbies in that lineup. Twayne Stats, Dave Campbell for you. Later from the Oakland Alameda Coliseum. ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball. Here's a 3-2. Up and away. Near the line is Gilkey. Braves will strand a couple. They've left a half dozen tonight, but they've done some heavy hitting. Klesko frustrated. Better days ahead for him, for sure. Busch Stadium, St. Louis. Picturesque home of the Cardinals, near the Mississippi River, downtown in the Gateway City. But Tom Glavine's the man, looking down on everybody from the top of the arch right now. He has really been something, Buck Martinez. 14 in a row.
Look at his pitch count. 45 in the first inning, and then he really settled in a groove. Just 81 pitches total after 5 innings.
Todd Zeile, Brian Jordan, Scott Cooper for St. Louis in the 6th. Bats have gone silent since a 4-run, 2-hit first inning. Absolutely nothing since. Zeile, nice job to lay off that pitch. And he's ahead 2-0. Todd now hitting at .333 in his 13th game off the DL. And a fly ball to right field for Justice. That's 15 now for Glavine. Brian Jordan. Both times he's been swinging at the first pitch from this left-hander. Brian Jordan really started the season on fire for the Cardinals. He was 4 for his first 9. Then he was 7 for his first 13. And he was hitting well up over 300. Then he had an 0 for 19. Hits it well, but right at the shortstop, Blauser guns him out, 2 down. Brian Jordan at one stretch was 2 for 40 before he collected a couple of base hits this past weekend, and now he's struggling again.
Now, this is the most difficult aspect of trying to establish yourself in the big leagues when you're a young player, is trying to handle the mental aspect of working through a hitting slump. You can talk to Joe Torre all about it, but boy, you've got to learn how to handle it yourself, and it's tough.
Here's Cooper. And a good breaking ball from Glavine. Scott Cooper with a walk and a strikeout. They like the job he did in Boston, coming in quietly, efficiently, replacing Wade Boggs, as if anybody could really do that. But in Boston, he didn't quite hit for the power they had hoped for. Wore down a little bit the second half of the season. And Buck, with the summer heat on this turf in St. Louis, something the Cardinals will have to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, because it does get sweltering down there in July and August. But, you know, Joe Torre said to Cooper the other day, he said, listen, don't try to be a better player than you were in Boston. That's the guy we traded for. I think he was trying to justify the deal when he came here and probably put a little too much pressure on himself. I said, we like what we saw in Boston. That's why we made the trade.
And that's vintage Joe Torre. He's a player's manager. Guys like him. They like playing for him. He really lets people on the club know what their role is. And players like to know that. Here's the 2-2. Changeup. Cooper gone. 17 now for Glavine in a row. Middle innings went by in a breeze. Tom Glavine in control.
The Royals and Blue Jays, and we have some controversy in Toronto. Cone pitches high and inside. Parrish, the catcher, touches the runner with his glove, had the ball in his hand. That's Joe Nunnally. Out comes Cito. Out goes Cito. He's thrown out by the umpire Merriweather. Now, earlier this season, we saw the Pods and Astros, and a replacement ump called the guy out. Erie's safe. It's 4-3 now.
You don't see that very often, where a player reaches for the base runner, has the ball in his bare hand, tags him with the glove, Lance Perry, the veteran catcher, made that mistake, and it cost Cito Gaston the rest of the ballgame.
Here's another busy Cardinal reliever, 33-year-old Jeff Parrott. He's been with the Expos, the Phillies, these Braves in '90 and '91, the A's, the Rockies, and now the Cardinals. And he's done a pretty solid job as a middle relief man. A couple of setup roles. He'll face Lopez, Lemke, and then the pitcher spot Glavine in the Atlanta 7th inning. Javier Lopez, good night. Single double, RBI run. When he was retired, he hit the ball hard right at Brian Jordan out in right field. And Rich DeLucia, 2 runs on 3 hits and 3 1/3 for the Cardinals in relief of John Frascatore. See those Braves always thinking ahead. They're looking at the media guy. Back by the screen. The ball is just over the screen. Danny Sheaffer, no chance. They're probably looking for something in Jeff Parrott's bio, tracking his career. He's been around. Maybe they're looking at Ken Hill, looking for something they can exploit tomorrow.
Well, they're talking to Mike Mordecai on the bench. That's Bobby Cox. And having played for Bobby, I know that he is down there trying to get some information from Mordecai about a particular player, but I'm not sure which player it might be. But he's got the media guy out there. He's saying, I want to know about this guy. Cox, of course, would know Parrott. He's been around a lot. Bobby saw him play in Seattle. But he was certainly picking Mordecai's brain about someone that Mordecai would have played against.
There's a 2-2 pitch and a foul. Jeff Parrott, fastball, breaking ball. He'll throw a splitter to left-handers. Out to shortstop. Trip Cromer with a nice big hop. That's the first out in the 7th. Let's check in with Carl Ravitch.
All right, Bob. San Francisco, Philadelphia, 1-0 Giants. Jim Eisenreich comes up, slices one to left field. This scores Dutch Dalton, came off Trevor Wilson. Good pitching matchup here. It is 1-1 now in Norm Charlton for the Phillies. Back to you.
All right, Carl, we saw the Barry Bonds homer earlier. Braves are trying to gain a game on those Phillies tonight. They're 3.5 back in the National League East. Braves have won 5 in a row, but the Phils have won 3 straight and 15 of their last 18. Mark Lemke's hit 3 fly balls tonight. 0 for 3. So Parrott works him up there at 2-0. And a base hit on a pitch up. And Tom Glavine is on his way to the batter's box here in the 7th inning. Gutsy performance tonight, Buck. We thought he might not be around for 5. Then after 5, we thought maybe they'd go ahead and get him out of there. But here he is.
Yeah, he's a hockey player, though. You know, he just went back to the bench and got stitched up, and he's back out there. No problem at all.
Glavine from Concord, Massachusetts. I think we know who his favorite team would be.
That team in Boston?
Yeah, the guys with the big hub wheel on the front of their jerseys. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI single. Wants to bunt. That's a great idea. Move that runner over, get off the diamond, and get back in the dugout. But it's no balls, 2 strikes. Lemke will return.
Well, it's also an attempt to stay out of a possible inning-ending double play. So he will more than likely try to bunt him over again, even though he's got 2 strikes on him.
And he lays one down. Sheaffer has to come out of ways to get it. Nice job, Tom Glavine. It'll go 2-4 on the sacrifice. Lemke down to second base with 2 outs for Marquise Grissom.
With 2 strikes, Glavine continues the bunt attempt, and he lays down a beauty. And then you see very gingerly makes his way down the first baseline. Sheaffer's got plenty of time, but on the play, Lemke moves over to second base. Glavine gets a sacrifice and gets to return to the dugout.
The way he's going, he might get his first complete game. He's retired 17 consecutive Cardinals through 6 now. And here's Grissom with a 3-for-4 night in progress.
And he's pumped up his average 22 points with that 3-for-4 night.
He's off the interstate.
Over the Mendoza line.
He was hitting I-98 coming in. Now he's at 220.
A little bit of a cross up there. Sheaffer's lucky he got a glove on that pitch. Quickly out to talk to Parrott. He was expecting a breaking ball. Watch Sheaffer's reaction here. He's expecting that ball to be down and got the fastball, and he really was fortunate that he got a glove on that ball. Quickly comes out from behind the plate and has a talk with Jeff Parrott.
Now a 2-0 pitch to the hot Grissom. He chops one to third. Cooper charges. This guy's got a gun for an arm. Braves have now left 7. 7th inning stretch time in St. Louis. Atlanta 9-4. Welcome back to St. Louis, and this ball game tonight follows the recent formula for both of these clubs, Buck. Cardinals struggle in the pitching rotation. Braves looking great with 17 in a row for Glavine.
Well, I tell you, they had Tom Glavine on the ropes here again tonight. 4 runs in the first inning, 2 hits and 4 walks in the first inning, but boy, they couldn't close the door. They couldn't knock him out in that first inning. He was on the ropes, but they couldn't put him away.
So Glavine back to work in the bottom of the 7th inning. He'll face Sheaffer, Cromer, and then the pitcher's spot. What's amazing about his performance tonight is he struggled so in the first inning. The Cardinals have not had a hit or a runner since there was 1 out in the first inning.
Danny Sheaffer doubled in that first inning. Drove home 2.
That was it.
Well, that tells the story. They rocked him in the first, but they couldn't put him away. Like so many great pitchers, boy. If you get an opportunity to get him out of the game, you better take advantage of it.
During the 17-hitter streak, he's fanned 6. Six fly balls. Just about the same number of ground balls. So he's getting the Cardinals out every way you can. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the St. Louis catcher. Tom Pagnozzi has the night off. Sheaffer in his stead has a 2-run double tonight. And that fills the count 3-2. And we've seen something now we haven't seen in about 2 hours. A 3-ball count from Tom Glavine. He must be really getting tired.
It's really amazing how he can't find his control in the first inning, but boy, after that, he's painting black all night long. It's really kind of a mystery, too. Leo Mazzoni and Bobby Cox have talked about it. They've tried different approaches, warm-up times, start him early, start him late, longer warm-up periods, but he's not been able to get over that first inning problem.
High heater, swing and a miss. 18 straight, and back to Carl.
Bob, Houston and Cincinnati. Shane Reynolds on the hill after a Reggie Sanders triple. Later in the inning, Brett Boone down the line. This a double. Boone's 6th double of the season, tied for the team high. It is now 2-1 in favor of Cincinnati. By the way, The Houston Rockets up 8.5. Back to you.
All right, Carl, thanks for the update. And after their slow start, Cincinnati steadily climbing the ladder in the National League Central. Trip Cromer with a base hit to the wall in left field. He'll cruise into second base with his 4th double of the year. And the Cardinals have their first base runner since Danny Sheaffer in the first inning. That breaks a string of 18 in a row for Tom Glavine.
Cromer gets that fastball inside part of the plate, hooks it into left field. It goes all the way to the wall. Klesko plays it off the wall, and Cromer has a double with 1 out here in the 7th inning.
100 pitches now for Tom Glavine. He'll look in and see a guy who played the American League for a long time. Several different ball clubs. Right-handed infielder Darnell Coles. He bats in the pitcher's spot. A .250 batter. He's 0 for 6 as a pinch hitter. Got a start the other day in San Francisco and responded with 2 base hits. Could play a couple of different positions. There's John Habian in the Cardinal bullpen. And there's activity on the other side as well. That evens the count, 1-1. And there's Greg McMichael. Who's going to be that Atlanta closer, Buck?
Well, they're not really that concerned about it now that the starters are starting to stretch it out. They've got a whole bunch of guys that can pitch 1 inning. Just the 9th. Everybody else is taking them right to 8th and 9th inning. Avery pitched a complete game last time around. Maddox had a complete game. Glavine's been in total control here tonight. He's into the 7th. Neil Mazzoni was confident all along that once the starters stretched it out, the bullpen would take care of itself.
There's a bounce at a third. Jones had to back up. Now he's got to use the gun. 2 down. And Cromer held at second.
Chipper Jones was signed as a shortstop, moved over to play third, and makes a fine defensive play here. He's got to give ground, take a swipe at it, then he gloves it. As Bob mentioned, he's got a strong arm and throws a strike to McGriff to retire Coles. He's moved to left field, and Klesko was hurt. Now he's moved back to third base, and looks comfortable in both of those positions.
Look at Bernard Gilkey's numbers as an RBI man this year. It's 13 of his 18 in these situations. He never hit that well at Busch Stadium in his career, batting around .260. Last time the Cardinals were home, he had a .341 homestand. Then he went on a 10-day road trip and hit just about the same. One of 2 hometown boys in the lineup. Scott Cooper is the other. Evans worked over Coop tonight with a couple of strikeouts. Well, Bernard for several years has mastered the art of playing at home. Scott still dealing with ticket requests, the pass list, the distractions, the interviews. It's not easy, Buck.
Well, it's the first time in the National League for Cooper, who had played for the Red Sox, so I'm sure a lot of people haven't seen him play before, want to get a chance to come out and watch him play here at home.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And out into left center. Gilkey delivers another RBI with a runner in scoring position. Cromer home. It's a 9-5 game. Well, the Cardinals waited a while to get that first base hit since the first inning. And then they got another one in the same frame. And it's a 4-run game.
Now, Gilkey's been very productive in these situations, and this time he gets to that inside fastball. Hits the head on it, drives it to center field, chases home Trip Cromer, who had hit a double to left. But the Cardinals still trailing by 4.
Here's Oquendo. That'll be cut off by Jones. The short way to Lemke. Cards settle for a run on 2 hits, and to the 8th we go. Glavine touched up a bit, still leads by 4. Braves out hitting the Cardinals 12-4, leading 9-5 into the 8th inning. And now it's time for the Kelly Springfield Tire key plays of the game. The first one came in the 3rd inning. Braves were in a tight ball game at the time, and Tom Glavine, a big infield hit, hurting himself but getting the RBI. And then 1 inning later, with a man aboard, Fred McGriff against Rich DeLucia. There's the swing, and there it went. Way out of here to right center, his 5th of the year. And the Braves have breezed ever since. They lead 9-5. John Glavine, the new Cardinal pitcher, in the 8th inning, facing Jeff Blauser.
Makes his 14th appearance for the Cardinals this year. He was roughed up working in that game last night. Glavine worked an inning, gave up 2 runs on 3 hits and struck out 3.
Cardinal pitchers struck out 15 batters last night and got beat 7-1. Maddox going all the way. 1 run on 5 hits with 8 strikeouts, no walks last evening. This one rammed out into left field. Gilkey right there for the first down. Blauser 0 for 3 with a couple of walks.
Third baseman, Chipper Jones.
He's got strings flapping all over the place off that glove as he chases down those flies. Chipper Jones on base 3 times. He was slated to open the '94 season out in left field, but the knee injury shelved him for the entire campaign. And you never know, Buck, when a guy comes back after a year off, how long it'll take him to get the stroke back, get his confidence back. Only took a couple of weeks for this young man. Nice backhand by Zeile. He leads Glavine well to the bag. 2 down. Formula One racing coming your way on ESPN. The Grand Prix of Monte Carlo Sunday in the morning. Live. Reigning champion Michael Schumacher leads Britain's Damon Hill by only 1 point in the championship standings. It's a great racing prelude to the Indy 500. Little Formula One coming your way. ESPN Speed World. 9:20 in the morning, Sunday Eastern Time. I guess if you're on the coast at 6:20, the roar of the engines will be your wake-up call. And has Fred McGriff's bat received a wake-up call here tonight with that first homer in a while? They can come in bunches once he gets the stroke back.
Well, he has a little pushback he uses in his batting stance. It's a timing mechanism for him. And it takes him a while to get the proper timing as he likes to push back, get his hands set back there, and then explode toward the pitcher. Watch how he eases back on that back leg.
Breaking ball nearly locked him up. No swing, says Ed Montague down at third base on the appeal. 2 for 4 tonight, 3 for 5 in this series so far. And a 1-2 pitch got him. Glavine comes back with a 1-2-3 to the bottom of the 8th. Good hitters due up for the Cardinals. Langford, Zeile, and Jordan.
Day night at 8. Tommy and the Dodgers leave the friendly confines of Chavez Ravine to take on the Expos. LA versus Montreal. Part of a Memorial Day weekend of baseball on ESPN.
Braves 9, Cardinals 5 into the bottom of the 8th inning. ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball. First half of our doubleheader here in St. Louis. And Tom Glavine's night is over. 45 pitches in the first inning, Buck. Only 64 thereafter.
Boy, a real Jekyll and Hyde performance once he got through that nightmarish first inning in which he walked 4 batters, he really settled in and closed the door on the Cardinals.
28-year-old right-hander Greg McMichael takes over.
This will be his 11th appearance. He's got a 3-0 record, 16 hits and 14 2/3, but he's struck out 16 hitters. Sinking fastball right there, gets hit, and he's got a very good changeup that he'll throw anytime.
Throw that changeup up to about half his pitches. Langford, Zeile, and Jordan. Other than Todd Zeile's base hit for 2 runs in the first inning, the middle of the Cardinal order has been kept quiet. Good looking splitter there. No balls and 2 strikes. Ray Langford is the National League leader in doubles with 13. He's been in the top 3 or 4 in extra base hits most of the early part of the season. And McMichael worked him over pretty well.
McMichael's been fairly effective. He started off hot, then he had a rough spot. Now he's starting to throw good again. That was a good change. He had to chase with 2 strikes. He's had just 1 save opportunity so far. They're mixing and matching down in that bullpen.
40 saves the last 2 years, 21 of those in '94. He faces Todd Zeile. And the fastball rides high. Zeile with a 1-for-3 night. He's now 16 for 49 since coming off the disabled list. And those 16 hits have driven home 12 runs.
Now the Cardinals got to look at a right-hander now after battling Tom Glavine all night long. McMichael is not an overpowering pitcher, but he's got the type of delivery that really complements his changeup. He really hides the ball well, tough to pick it up. 3/4 delivery, and that ball really is tough to find as he's coming at you with his shoulder and his glove and everything else.
And the breaking ball missed outside. 2-1. Cardinals have only had 4 hits tonight. 2 in the first, 2 in the 7th. Sidearm pitch, running fastball, caught the inside corner, evening the count 2-2. And that'll fill the count. Slumping hitter on deck. Brian Jordan would love to see somebody on base. Here's the payoff pitch with 1 out. Way outside, he had him fishing. 2 outs. And let's get an update. Here's Carl Ravitch.
Hi, Bob. Certainly a game Braves fans are keeping their eye on. Giants Phillies. Heathcliff Slocum gets carry on looking. He gets save number 12. Phillies win at 2-1. An error cost the Giants in this one, and they came in the best fielding team in the NL. Back to you.
So Randy Myers earlier, Heathcliff Slocum tonight, each picking up saves. Slocum stays 2 ahead, and the Phillies will stay at least 3.5 ahead of the Braves. Item in the St. Louis paper yesterday about Brian Jordan possibly making a return to football. Deflected by the pitcher. That's one of the reasons Brian's such a great DB. He can really run. And he'll get an infield hit. He'll take it the way things have gone for him the last couple of weeks.
Well, that might be the base hit that gets him rolling again. He hits it right back to McMichael. It goes off his glove. Blauser comes across shortstop. Watch the acceleration down the line. He hasn't had many hits lately, and he hustles down the line and has himself an infield single.
He's an awesome athlete. Power, speed, pretty good throwing arm in right field. Now here's Scott Cooper. He is in there against a right-hander for the first time. – 0 for 2 with the walk and 2 Ks tonight. Cooper is a better third baseman than he has shown so far. He's already had 7 errors. 3 of those came in one game at LA. He can really throw from over there. Cardinals are waiting for some of that power from his bat. Change up is down low. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, the trade really fit for both clubs. The Red Sox wanted to find a place for Tim Naring, a right-handed bat, to get into the lineup, so they moved him to third.
There's a liner off the glove of Jones. He timed his leap perfectly, just couldn't get up there high enough. And with a couple of hits off fielders' gloves, the Cardinals put 2 aboard here in the 8th inning. Gerald Perry, Joe Torre's pinch hitter extraordinaire, will come to the plate.
Now Cooper goes the other way. Chipper Jones may have gotten a piece of it. He timed it perfectly, but it was just out of his reach. Cooper has a 2-out base hit. The Cardinals are threatening. Torre's going to go to the bench and bring Gerald Perry up here. Perry 3 for 14 with a ribby.
He's the all-time Cardinal leading pinch hitter for base hits. Collected number 61 back on May 10th. That surpassed Steve Braun. Gerald's added another one. Now has 62 career pinch hits in a Cardinal uniform. Cardinals have the tying run in the on-deck circle. McMichael's given up a few long ones this year. This game isn't quite over yet.
Yeah, he's given up home runs in 4 of his last 5 outings. He had a tough stretch where he gave up a home run to the Phillies, then in New York, Cincinnati, and Colorado. 4 straight outings he gave up home runs.
Harry went deep for the Cards last year 3 times in 77 at bats. 4 times the year before that. So he's got some pop in that bat. He's an experienced left-handed batter. And that one's in there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Bobby Cox doesn't have the luxury of a real bona fide closer down in that bullpen. Something he'd like to have, but they've got the Rolls-Royce starting staff. There's a good changeup. Michael had Perry way out in front.
And when 45% of your payroll is wrapped up in your starting rotation, you don't go out and buy a closer for $4 or $5 million. Braves are just about stretched to the limit. Maddox, of course, a $5 million guy. Smoltz, Glavine in that neighborhood. Avery's just behind them. Merker's over $2 million. A $20 million rotation. It's their job to get it into the late innings. 1-2 pitch, and Perry just does stay alive.
And right now, Gerald Perry is not taking very good hacks against McMichael. All he can do is foul this one off. You could see how far out in front he was right there. McMichael giving him a steady diet of that changeup.
One ball, 2 strikes. And Perry a little chopper again. Langford and Zeile struck out to start the inning. And Brian Jordan hit one hard up the middle off the pitcher's glove for a hit. Scott Cooper went the other way off Chipper Jones' glove with a line drive. Cardinals need a big hit right here in the 8th inning to get back in this game. Mark Wohlers, right-hander, starting to throw.
Mike Stanton, the left-hander for Bobby Cox.
1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. St. Louis down by 4.
Once again, Javi Lopez goes to the mound. We talked to McMichael. Be reminding him that we don't want to give in to him. He's a very good fastball hitter, and he's been out in front of every changeup that they've thrown to him.
Guys who pitch for Leo Mazzoni call him the rocker. Here's the 2-2. Runner going off second, and a little half swing out to short. Blauser to first base to get Perry. Cardinals strand 2. They've left 5. To the 9th inning we go. And the Braves holding up their 4-run lead. Dave Justice, the leadoff man. It's starting to look like that Atlanta pitching staff is approaching overdrive. Maddox last night, Glavine tonight. Atlanta by 4 into the 9th here in St. Louis. Bob Carpenter, Buck Martinez, and it'll be Dave Justice leading off for the Braves. John Fabian out there for another inning. Atlanta trying to win its 6th in a row. It would be 8 of 9 for the Braves. They'd have to do it to keep pace, 3.5 back of the Phillies in the National League East. Cardinals in danger of falling 7 back of the Cubs. Well hit, but just outside the bag. After the Cardinals pinch hit for Danny Sheaffer, Scott Heeman is behind the plate. He was just called up yesterday from Louisville. Cardinals AAA with right-handed pitcher Mark Pekazik. He'll start on Friday against Cincinnati. Those were the moves the Cards made yesterday when they put 2 left-handers on the DL. Joe Torre had 4 left-handed starters on opening day. Urbani and Donovan Osborne on the DL. Now Joe has Danny Jackson. And Ozzie Smith on the DL earlier tonight. There's Danny 0-5 after losing here last night. Ozzie on the DL. They brought up Alan Battle, a speedy young outfielder from their AAA. Buck, I think one of the toughest things in baseball has to be getting beat. You're 0-5. You sit around and watch the other guys on your staff get beat up as well, waiting for that next turn to come around. It's got to be an eternity.
Well, Danny Jackson's such a competitive guy, too. He signed here as a free agent. He was supposed to be a guy that was really going to anchor down the staff, and he is disappointed. But he had some encouragement last time out when he threw a little bit more effectively. He has been trying to regain his strength. He worked hard in the offseason, but he had that battle with cancer. And there's Ken Hill, who's going to start Tamayer. He, too, with Jackson, supposed to be number 1, number 2 in a pretty good rotation. Dave Justice grabbing that shoulder. Watch the action as he has to dance out of the way of the pitch from Fabian. And he may have re-injured that shoulder. He had some problems with it early in the game. But that quick movement as he dodged that inside pitch from Fabian caused him to re-aggravate that right shoulder.
It's the 24th of May. This ball club is still pretty good the first 2 months, last 2 years, but after the 1st of June, almost unheard of. 640 baseball.
Well, you can see that the pitchers, the starters in particular, really starting to find the groove. The hitters, Justice, Chipper Jones, Fred McGriff, starting to heat up.
He's getting some cuts in this at bat, pulling another one foul.
It's amazing when he can drop the head of the bat down low. He's got no effects at all from that shoulder injury. He really gets to that ball quickly.
Little fly ball out to left field. Going out is Cromer. Couldn't quite get there. And a base hit for Dave Justice, his first of the night.
Cromer has a bead on it, but you can see the ball slice back over his right shoulder. He couldn't make the play, but plays it on the hop. He showed a lot of range as he went out there trying to take away that hit from Dave Justice.
Here's Ryan Klesko. A pretty good high slider by Habian. He broke off some great breaking pitches last night, even though the Braves knocked him around a little. Well, Bobby Cox was impressed with the stuff from this right-hander, who's been mostly an American leaguer.
Habian came up in the Orioles organization and was a highly touted starter. Then he had a very strange accident in the offseason, hurt his shoulder in a sledding accident. Pitched effectively for the Yankees out of their bullpen.
And a ground ball. They'll have to hurry for two. Cromer is really smooth on the pivot. 4-6-3. Let's check in with Carl Ravitch.
All right, Bob. San Diego, Montreal, Henry Rodriguez. He is playing first, batting third, came over in a trade with Kelly, and look what happens. His second home run of the season. That gives him a 3-2 advantage, and on for the save now, Luis Zecchino. Back to you.
Thank you, Carl. And despite the fact that Atlanta and Philadelphia have been playing so well lately, those Expos are hanging around. They're 5 games out. They picked up the slack pretty well, losing their ace to the Cardinals Hill, their closer to the Yankees Wetland, their slugger to the Rockies Walker, and their leadoff man to these Braves Grissom. Dave looks a little happier now. Got a base hit.
Yeah, he was one of the few regulars not to get on the hit parade. He got 13 hits tonight, and he had that little flare into left field. He'll take it. Look at the effort at second base here. Even though he's got that banged up shoulder, he's all over Cromer, who just dances out of the way and completes the double play, but he finally got a hit.
Marquise Grissom next to him there. He's a guy who can really light up a clubhouse. Great personality. The breaking ball to Lopez. Javi with 2 out of 4 tonight. Grissom's one of those guys who's always chattering, getting on guys. And he plays a mean center field. There's that hook. Second strikeout for Habian to the bottom of the 9th. Cardinals have 3 outs left. They need 4 runs to tie. Well, Dave Justice becoming a seasoned veteran now for this ball club, and he's excited as a veteran about some of the young guys, some of the talent coming into this club.
We have some young guys in our ball club, you know, in the bullpen and our starting lineup, and I don't think a lot of people see that. And you know, this is not the same team from 1991, 92, or 93. So because of that, you know, this team has to grow together, you know, and gel together, and it doesn't happen in the first 2 weeks.
Well, they've got some good young players. Ryan Klesko out in left field. Chipper Jones, they call him a throwback kind of guy that'll get down in the dirt and dive after balls to beat you. The young receiver, Javier Lopez.
Dave Justice said, you know, be patient with this group of young guys. They've got to get comfortable in everyday situations. We don't have Terry Pendleton any longer. We don't have Ron Gant. We have some guys that are really going to have to experience a pennant race firsthand for the first time. So it might take them a while to really get comfortable. But right now, the Braves appear to be headed for their 6th straight win. They're 8th in their last 9 games. And it looks as though as June gets closer, they're going to heat up. Make a run at the Phillies.
A good young left-handed bat, John Mabry. Pinch hits for the Cardinals for Cromer here in the 9th inning. He's a good first baseman, good right fielder. He's got some line drive power in that bat. Likes to hit the ball the other way. And he pulls it, and it's outside the bag. Hey, don't forget, we've got the second half of our doubleheader coming up. Cal Ripken back in action tonight. What else is new? Less than 100 games to go now as he chases Lou Gehrig. Mike Messina 3-1, 7-1 career against Oakland. Dave Stewart on the mound for the home team. And Mark McGwire swinging a hot bat. Wayne Stats and Dave Campbell are standing by out in the East Bay to bring that one to you when we wrap up here in the National League. Cardinals will go with another pinch hitter. There's their defensive whiz behind the plate, Tom Pagnozzi. 0-2 pitch, target inside, fastball way up. And just in case, Tom Henke hasn't pitched since Sunday when he got his 8th save at San Francisco. Homecoming for Tom Henke, by the way. Joe Torre and Walt Jocketty brought him here from Texas. Tom's from Jefferson City, Missouri, about 100 miles west of here. Mabry with a big fly. This one is high, and it's deep, and it's caught in front of the 375 mark. Just as ranging back to the wall as Mabry made a bid for his first homer.
Well, that ball got up there and just died. It looked like Mabry had enough of it to drive it out of here. Went down and got that changeup. But in this cool night air, Dave Justice runs to the wall and then sees it settle in his glove for the first out here in the ninth.
Mabry coming within a couple feet of his first major league homer. Here's Tom Pagnozzi, and he goes up hacking. The Cardinal catcher. First pinch hitting appearance of the year. He plays about 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5 games for this team. 4 RBIs, a .253 batting mark. And a guy who's won more than 1 Gold Glove back there. Pagnozzi was injured 2 years ago. And as he was on the shelf, Kurt Manwaring of the Giants grabbed the Gold Glove. But Pagnozzi grabbed it back again. He's won 3 of the last 4. And here's the 1-2 pitch. Cardinals just haven't played very well at home. This would be 6-8 for a home record if they lose this one tonight.
Well, they made some off-season acquisitions that made them believe they could take a run at their division. They picked up Ken Hill in the trade, signed Danny Jackson, brought Tom Henke here, made the deal for Scott Cooper. They were pretty confident they had improved in some weak areas. And so far, they haven't been able to turn things around.
Pagnozzi fisted, grounds to Chipper Jones. 2 down. So the Braves are on the verge of their 6th consecutive win, trying to make it 8 out of 9. And they would stay 3.5 back of the Phillies, who won tonight at home against the Giants. Glavine would be the winner. He'll go to 3-1. Frascatore's record will come even at 1-1. This is Gilkey, the batter. And a breaking ball.